An East Division rivalry set to get underway in about 15 minutes here at Eastfield. But before that, we've got a Dragon Dog competition, so we're alive a little early here at Eastfield. Welcome inside our broadcast booth, joined alongside Luke LaRose. I'm Nathaniel Cunningham. We'll get you to game content in a little bit, and obviously that's what you're all here for, to see whether or not the Dragons can snap a 24-game skid against the Amsterdam Mohawks. But this Dragon Dog eating contest has just gotten underway, and to give you some ground rules, we've got two divisions, the adults and the kids. You'll see the kids down there on the left, the adults on the right, and the older gentlemen, they've got to take down 10 hot dogs in the 10-minute time limit. The kids only have to do 5. Crucial part, though, Luke, they have to take down the buns as well.
Buns and dog, no condiment. You got to eat this dog dry except for the water. I believe if you eat all 10, you get more.
We'll see how many we can get through and what some of these people can go. You're seeing a lot of the adults utilize that water. A couple of them already taking steps back, and you know, those dry hot dogs are not too easy to get down. But the gentleman, 2 steps in for the adults, he's about 3 or 4 in already. The plates that we have, they're stacked too high for the adults, and there's no longer that top rung for him. He's looking at about 4 or 5 left, and we're seemingly only 2 minutes in.
He's on a roll. I don't think anyone's going to beat the Joey Chestnut 72 hot dogs in 10 minutes. But he might have a run for it. I think he's finishing dog number 5.
I mean, they are continuing to go, but how about a pair of the kids as well? One of the young gentlemen down there just finished hot dog number 2. It looks like the other one's starting to work on hot dog number 3. So kids also putting in some work here at Eastfield.
I don't think I could do it.
See, we tried to convince them to send some of these world-famous Dragon Dogs up here to the broadcast booth. Unfortunately, there's only enough for the competition, so we'll have some more that are getting prepared in the snack shack. But we were going to let you in on what these Dragon Dogs taste like, maybe turn the camera around, give you a good look at what a couple of them look like. Unfortunately, not too many to spare. We're still going through. Some of the adults checking on the kids now. They're just trying to work through.
Family event.
Yeah, it's been an incredible 2 days here at Eastfield. You talk about yesterday against the Athletics. Glens Falls walking it off against Albany, large in part due to the man that you hear on the mic, Billy Floyd. Had a big sacrifice fly in that, what was the final inning in the 7th, and then Cam Biller walked it off for the Dragons.
Billy had a great game, has his first RBI in over 11 years. Played some decent defense. I think he drove the ball a lot farther than anyone expected.
Definitely got a little bit more than people anticipated yesterday. And although the stat sheet will say 0 for 2, it should have an asterisk there with the most important at-bat, you could argue, of the game. We just hit the 3-minute mark, and a couple of the adults are getting into that latter stage. Gentlemen, 2 in from the right down there is picked up dog number 6.
I imagine there's some hot dog fatigue going on for a lot of the competitors.
You said you don't think you could do it. How many do you think in 10 minutes you think you could get down, Luke?
In 10 minutes, maybe 4.
Maybe 4. I mean, I'm curious what everyone else thinks. If you're watching us right now and you're not here at Eastfield, there's still time. If you're local to the Glens Falls area, come over. Still about 6 minutes to go before the contest is over. But if you're not going to make your way over, let us know. You know, how many hot dogs do you think you could nail down in 10 minutes? You said 6, Luke?
4.
4? I think I could do 6. I think there needs to be a lot of water, though. You're seeing some of these competitors work through. They're getting into water bottles number 2. They're really utilizing that anything extra they can have to make it go down a little easier.
Yes. The thing with the Dragon Dog, it's not like a full-length hot dog, but I believe they're deceptively filling. Your eyes might be a little bigger than your stomach in a competition like this.
Still trying to see where a couple of the kids are. Little girl all the way on the left has housed 2 of them, which they're almost as tall as she is now, so that's a pretty impressive to have there. But again, those adults, a couple of those guys that we thought closest to the kids were going to nail them down, but it looks like Allen, the gentleman on the far right, is going to be able to take this one here at Eastfield. There's another gentleman midway through. He had an interesting T-shirt. It says on it that, he enjoys these competitions. Looked like he might be doing this a couple of times in his lifetime. We're still not halfway through, and it looks like there's just a dog or two left on his plate.
Yeah, he's cruising. Some of the kids are working on just finished hot dog number 4. The kid in the pink shirt is going on hot dog 5, it looks like.
It's tough to truly see where a couple of these guys are standing at and what the situation is. You're seeing a lot of the adults slow down. But now we're seeing those extra hot dogs start to get issued out. And again, if you're watching us now, I'm curious what everyone else thinks they could handle as far as hot dogs. Speaking about hot dogs, Luke, favorite hot dog condiment? This is a highly contested topic, so don't say something wrong here now.
Okay, I'm a big mustard guy.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit of relish every once in a while, but usually just plain mustard for me.
Just a plain mustard guy. See, I think you have to go a nice ratio of ketchup to mustard with a good grilled hot dog. I think the grilling of the hot dog is arguably the most important part.
The hot dog has to be grilled. Not a huge ketchup guy on my hot dog, but I respect it.
All right. Not a huge ketchup guy. That might make some of the fans a little upset. Ketchup's probably a top 3 condiment in general, I'd say.
I understand your argument.
Thoughts on relish on a hot dog?
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while. Sweet relish? Are you just a pickle guy in general? Like, I love me a quality dill pickle.
A good dill pickle with a little bit of crunch. Can't beat it. Bread
and butter also making their elite level side dishes. It feels just like summer night. We're halfway through July. We're reaching the end of the PGCBL season. The Dragons are continuing their playoff push. Just like these guys are continuing their push towards the finish line. We see one of those kids, the tallest one in the bunch, rivaling a couple of those adults. He's chawing down hot dog number 5 as we speak. Allen, who is the second guy in from the right, has slowed it down a ton. He's really been working through that 7th hot dog. And again, there's 10 minutes, so they're in that latter half, that end stage.
If you've ever watched the July 4th hot dog eating competition, you know the pace slows down substantially towards the end. I think Alex is running into that issue. Allen, I should say.
It's not quite over. 2 minutes remaining on our hot dog eating contest. The fans, again, we talked about yesterday what it was like for Billy Floyd night, and here with this hot dog eating contest, you can see a bunch of people filling up the seating below, and then there's a good chunk of fans in the bleacher section as well. Doesn't look like anybody, maybe a couple of the kids are going to get their full 5 down, but it doesn't look like any of the adults are going to get those full 10 down in the 10 minutes.
I believe a kid has already gotten his full 5. The one in the pink shirt without the Mets hat. I believe he's already ate 5, and he's on plate number 2.
Well, how about that? He'll be taking away a nice little trophy home here at Eastfield and crowns themselves the inaugural Dragon Dog eating contest. We got a minute to go. More water getting handed out. The second plate of dogs going for everybody. I mean, this has just turned out better than I think even the staff here at Glens Falls have imagined. And you just heard that from Billy Floyd. One of the adults 11 deep. So got to the 10 dog marker and is on round number 2. He'll more than likely walk away out of here the champion. We'll get confirmation on the final kid that ended up walking out of here a winner. But just listen to this crowd.
Full house tonight.
Does push game time back a little bit, so if you're maybe the Amsterdam Mohawks who didn't know this was happening, a couple of the players pregame admitted they had no clue this was going on, so maybe messing up a little bit of the pregame routine, but if you're a fan, it doesn't really matter. A tie seems to have occurred here at East Field, Luke. And just off recent memory, I don't know off the top of my head, do you think, has there been a tie at the July 4th hot dog contest in some time, some recent memory?
I don't believe so. They get specific. They'll measure it down to half a dog or so.
They will measure it down to half a dog, and it looks like that's happened here at East Field. That they have indeed crowned a singular champion. So the inaugural champion in the kids division, his name's Oliver, took down what looks like 5 and a little over a half a dog. Oliver did.
Yeah, he was on plate number 2. Impressive pace to start. Slowed a little bit.
It looks like Oliver, honestly, might be able to out-eat the both of us. And we're no slouch of gentlemen, I'd like to say,
No.
you know. I'm not sure exactly what I stand at 6'5", a little under 300 pounds. I'm a big guy, but I don't think I could do. 6 is a lot of hot dogs.
It's a lot of hot dogs. I could barely get through 2, but a competition like this, I think I can get 4.
They crowned the adult champion as well. You knew coming in with a shirt like that, Kirk knew he was coming in here to do business and handled 11 and a half in 10 minutes. I think you would have to give me about half a day, and I maybe could get you 11. But a nap is needed in the middle.
That's an all-day project.
100% an all-day project. But heck of a way to start the day, start the contest. These two guys walk out of here winners and get to crown themselves inaugural champions of the Dragon Dog Eating Contest. Either way, we still do have a baseball game that needs to get played. So if you were here for the Dragon Dog Contest, understandable. And we hope to see you tomorrow. But you should stay anyways because it's a good matchup we have on our hands. And it's an important one for Glens Falls because this is the final stretch where they begin that true playoff push with just 10 games remaining, 5 here at home and then 5 on the road. More importantly, it's 10 games in 11 days for Glens Falls. So they got to work towards that playoff push, and it's got to start today.
They do. And I think Glens Falls was feeling a little bit good. They had the win back a couple nights ago, and they had that exhibition game, which was just for fun. Didn't mean anything, but the boys played well. They had a great time. Hoping that energy and that momentum can carry them through into tonight against, like we said, a very good team.
Well, more importantly, they had a whole lot of really good things happen yesterday in that win. Not only do you pick up a win to keep your momentum going, which then pushed this team to have a little bit more success, but yesterday, Mohawk Valley, the team that currently sits at 3 in the East and 6.5 games out of first place, took down the Boonville Lumberjacks. 4-3 was the final score. So that gave another loss to Boonville and moves Glens Falls ever so closer. They now sit 5.5 games out of that final spot. What also helped them out a little bit, the Saugerty Stallions took down the Utica Blue Sox also 4-3 yesterday. That was in 10 innings, so Saugerty's had to use that extra frame to walk off Utica. But in the process, Glens Falls now sits 4.5 games out of them. So if the Dragons, they want to make that climb back up, they need to have both Boonville and Utica continue to lose, and it might be a little easier said than done because the two squads actually face off tonight, and Boonville's currently got a 3-1 lead in the top of the second.
Still time, top of the second, but they need both teams to lose. Only one can lose. Utica might be more beneficial if they get the loss, but Boonville, it's tough looking.
See, the thought process I had was if Boonville takes the loss, then Utica and Boonville might tie up in the standings, and then it's, only 5 games back to both teams. And with Glens Falls not having played Utica so far this year, when they do play them eventually on the 22nd and the 23rd in back-to-back days, if the Dragons could pick up 2 wins, they would hold a tiebreaker.
That is true, provided Utica keeps sliding down.
Yeah, so if Glens Falls can pick it up over these next 10 games and then match Utica, it'll be pretty impressive if they have those 2 wins, if Utica can still pull out the win tonight. And we'll keep you updated on that. Speaking about putting up wins tonight, there's a team that would love to bounce back and pick up a win, and that's the Amsterdam Mohawks, because yesterday they lost to the then 4-28 Oneonta Outlaws, 3-2 at Shuttleworth.
Impressive showing from Oneonta. They ended up breaking a tie in the 9th to go on to win that game, and it proves to Glens Falls that these untouchable giants are a little bit touchable, because Oneonta, a team you've had great success against, beat a team you've really struggled against. So those guys that you think are out of your reach aren't really out of your reach if Oneonta can do that.
And let's remind you, there was a stretch in early June where Amsterdam looked entirely gettable. They won just 4 games, and in that same stretch, they lost 6 of them. So 4-6 over a 10-game stretch was not what Amsterdam wants. If the Dragons can kind of catch a little bit of that from the Mohawks, not only do you snap a 25-game losing streak, but then you also propel yourself there. It was Lorenzo Camilleri for the Outlaws that really played hero. He had a home run in the second inning. That tied the game, and then he would have the winning single. But that was a crucial loss for Amsterdam. So they want to get back in the season. It was just their 4th loss at home this year and just their 8th overall. But they've struggled a little bit more on the road. It's still an 11-4-1 record away from Rao Family Stadium. But the Dragons, they're 7-9. They're on a 2-game win streak, at least here at East Field. Something to consider about the worst of the worst coming from Amsterdam and the best of the best from the Dragons.
And even though the game got canceled in at the beginning of it last time, Glens Falls went up to an early 2-0 lead last time Amsterdam was up here in Glens Falls. Maybe trying to replicate that again tonight.
The lineup that Amsterdam rolls out is a little different from how it was a couple days ago when these two squads faced off, but we will step aside for a couple minutes for the national anthem here at East Field.
See by the dawn's early light was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's
Welcome back in here to East Field after the national anthem sets up an East Division matchup with the Amsterdam Mohawks and the Glens Falls Dragons. Mention a little bit of a different lineup for Amsterdam that they roll out there. It'll be Luke Philippi, the center fielder, takes over his leadoff spot. Chris Holcraft, the shortstop, will be at third, and Bray Touchstone, the backstop, been one of the best players for Amsterdam, continues to hit 3. The new first baseman, John McKillop, hits cleanup with Brendan McCrane, the big right fielder, in the 5-hole. Wes Walker, usually seen behind the dish at times, is in the designated hitter spot, with a guy that's used to playing here at East Field, or at least similar, is Jake Sparks. Played with the Athletics yesterday, now plays with the Mohawks. Will Cowan will be out in left. He'll be hitting 8. And John Young Jr. rounds out the lineup for the Amsterdam Mohawks, Luke.
Yeah, so Mohawks stacked all the way through. I feel like a broken record when we talk about them. Philippi, Holcraft, Touchstone, Walker, they all put the ball in play. They're all very, very, very good at baseball. And Sparks had a great game against this team last night. Ended up blowing the game in the 7th, but had a good game offensively, maybe not as a pitcher, though.
Sparks was 1 for 3 at the plate with an RBI double. That put Albany in front early yesterday, and now he takes a big upgrade in the PGCBL against a team he faced just a day ago. But Amsterdam, they've got to try to attack a pitcher they had some pretty good success against in Dylan Harding. That's because Harding's last appearance was back on July 6th against the same Amsterdam team in a 5-2 loss. He went just 4 innings, but allowed 8 hits and 3 runs. He only walked a batter, though, and struck out 4. So Harding was still himself. He wasn't not finding the zone. It was just that this, like you mentioned, offensive Amsterdam squad got to the former player of the week.
And I believe that was game 1 of a doubleheader. Out in the heat, it was close to 90 degrees first pitch. I think the heat really affected him back on that day. A little bit cooler in game time, so the heat's not going to bother him as much tonight.
We'll see if that heat doesn't bother him here. Now that he gets his first start in nearly 2 weeks. And see if that rest ends up playing a factor as well. For the Dragons, defensively, they're going to roll out kind of a mixed match between what they have before and what they did during the middle of the season. Behind the plate, it'll be Brendan McLaughlin. Their defensive backstop will take his spot back behind the plate. From left to right on the infield, it's Michael Sweeney, Joe Carpier's Christian Moat, and the big slugger Nick Galello. In the outfield, it's James Houghton, Tyree Jackson, and Cody Meyer, who takes over in right. Meyer's had an excellent couple of days. Jackson, we know what he's got speed-wise in the outfield, but it's really been the infield and these Eastfield hops that have kicked the Dragons more than they haven't.
Yeah, defensively on the infield, it's just been tough for these guys all the way through. So a little bit of a change in defense maybe helps a little bit. But when that ball hits towards the edge of the grass, it just tends to die here at Eastfield.
Well, either way, we are finally set for baseball. Harding comes set on the mound. The first pitch he throws is fouled straight back, and we are underway. The center fielder, Luke Philippi, starts it off for Amsterdam, and he's got just a 194 batting average. You might think, why is this guy still in the lineup? Well, how about 39 walks on the year? No, you did not mishear me. 39. That's 10 more than the next closest guy, and his on-base percentage sits at a 448. So the speedster knows how to get on first, and he could do a lot with it. He watches the 0-2 pitch in the dirt. Speaking of speedster, he's got 11 stolen bases this year, but he's been caught 6 times, so maybe goes in some not great spots or doesn't get the best jump. The 1-2. This one's popped up. Out to left field. Over goes Houghton. Barely has to move to his left, though, and brings it in for out number 1. Harding continues what he's used to. Weak contact by the Mohawks brings in the shortstop, Chris Holcraft. Holcraft hitting .292 this year. He chops the first pitch over towards the right-hand side. Galello chooses to go towards the bag instead of attacking the ball, and it'll go down as the first base hit of the game. So now the catcher, Bray Touchstone, steps in, and what a heck of a summer he's had. .366 batting average, 4 home runs, 10 doubles to his name, 32 RBIs as well. He watches the first pitch strike. It doesn't get much better of a season if you're Bray Touchstone. The 0-1 is outside. Touchstone's 14 extra base hits. That's second in the PGCBL. His 32 RBIs puts him second in that category as well, as they're going to go check on Holcraft at first. I'm a big numbers guy as well, Luke. How about a .625 on base percentage? That ties him top the PGCBL.
He's making a strong case for MVP.
They're going to go check on Holcraft again, who just dives back in safely. There's good concern to check at Holcraft. 17 stolen bases this year. As the 1-2 is weakly popped up over towards the right side into shallow right field. Meyer comes in, makes the play on the run, pretends like he's going to throw back to try to get Holcraft at first, but doesn't do so, and it's out number 2. So the first lefty for Amsterdam comes to the lineup. It's John McKillop, the first baseman. McKillop, one of the newer members, getting his 7th started game, 9th of the season, takes a big cut at the first pitch. Through those first 8 games, though, how about a .300 batting average? And he's got a long ball, a solo shot as well. Harding comes set, takes a long look at Holcraft. Barely gets a lead off first. The 1-1. Chopped on the ground, over towards the left side and through the hole and into left. Holcraft takes a big ground at second, but he'll stay in the middle. And 2 singles put runners on first and second.
It's a little rare to see a lefty go the other way, but he just slapped that one in the hole on the left side of the infield.
Harding will use all sides of the plate, and especially with the big lefty who has proven it multiple times, especially against the Dragons, to hit the ball hard. And listening to go away and say, beat me that way, and McKillop did. So in steps the right fielder, Brendan McCrane. He watches the first pitch breaking ball outside. It's crazy to think about the fact that McCrane has got the 7th best batting average amongst players that have played in more than 10 games, and he's hitting .284 this year. He's got 2 homers, 3 doubles, 2 triples to his name. So a healthy 7 extra bases, as well as 24 RBIs. Second on the team. He takes a check swing there. Home plate umpire, Sean Hollick, he says it's in the zone for strike 2.
McCrane, with those numbers, shows you why he's an Auburn man down in the SEC playing like that.
The 1-2. Chopped foul. We mention it almost every time these squads play. Just how intense this Amsterdam lineup is. Head coach Keith Griffin does an excellent job of putting together a squad that competes for a title. That's the reason they're 9-time PGCBL champs. But to have players from Kentucky, Alabama, Wake Forest, and, like you mentioned, Auburn, the team is set to be successful. The 1-2. Chopped foul off to the right-hand side. Just got over the head of the first base coach, Eric Downey. Took a dive, looked at McCrane, and pointed fair. Some good jokes that this squad has. And walking down by their dugout pregame, it was nothing but laughs for a team that's made the hour-and-a-half trip up north. Harding comes set. Takes a look at second. Checks off on Holcraft, who thought about going. Harding did a good job to catch Holcraft leaning, but no throw with Moat not near the bag. So Harding comes set with the 1-2 now. And runs inside, almost hits McCrane. McLaughlin, the defensive backstop, does a good job to keep it in front. And Cowdell improved to 2-2. These are the spots where Glens Falls has got to keep it clean. They've struggled when runners get on in scoring position to keep it out, as McCrane pops this one up into foul territory. McLaughlin throws the mask, barely leaves the dirt circle, and the backstop brings it in. Sweeney comes all the way in from third to tap him on the back right as he grabs it. But it's a clean top of the first. Here at East Field with the Dragons, bats got a chance to have some early offense. We're back at East Field here in Glens Falls, New York, after a clean top of the first for the Dragons. And Dylan Harding hands the ball to his offense. Tries to attack this Amsterdam squad similar to how they did just 2 days ago. Starting it off for the Dragons will be the traditional leadoff hitter, Tyree Jackson. Behind him will be James Houghton. Nick Galello, the guy who's smashing home runs, it seems like every other day, is hitting third. Robert Mello's the cleanup guy. Joe Carpieres will be over at short with Cody Meyer. Out in right, he'll be hitting 6. Michael Sweeney, 7. Brendan McLaughlin, 8. And Christian Moat rounds out the lineup hitting 9. First pitch breaking ball from starter James Reddick is in the zone for strike one. The 1-0 now from Reddick is chopped back towards the pitcher's mound. Reddick will grab it, take a couple of pats, step off the mound, and throw over to the first baseman for out number one. Jackson's known for his early swings in counts and weakly hits one back to the pitcher for out number one. In steps James Houghton. Houghton so far this year has continued to get more and more playing time in the month of July. Has provided a lefty bat and would love to get the hit totals back up. He's hitting .214 in first pitch swinging. A long foul ball that actually gets out of the park and off the electric pole and onto the street. So we've seen that happen a couple of times from the lefty. If he can straighten that one out just a tiny bit, that'd be a home run. The 0-1 pitch runs outside. Houghton does have a double this year, but that's his only extra base hit of the season through 11 games. The 1-1 is swung on and missed. James Reddick on the mound is getting his third start of the season, but his 10th game he's played in. He had a quality start his last appearance, went 6 innings, gave up just 2 hits, and struck out 8 while walking no one against Mohawk Valley. That one hits the outside corner and looking to keep those strikeout totals where they're at. Froze James Houghton, and it's out number 2 in the bottom of the first.
He spent that entire at-bat pitching Houghton on the outside of the plate, forcing him to go opposite. Lefties tend to like it down and in.
Now you've got the hottest hitter in the Dragons lineup. It's Nick Galello, and he gets started with a first pitch breaking ball. Last time Galello hit a home run, it was an absolute moonshot, and he sees another breaking ball. It looks like that might be the scouting report now for the first baseman. He's got 5 this season, one of 3 players that can say they do have that. He's topped the PGCBL, but all he's seen so far is off speeds. The 1-2 from Reddick is swung on and missed. Quick work for James Reddick in the bottom of the first. Gets a weak ground ball and 2 strikeouts for a no-run first inning here at East Field. So a clean first inning for both squads welcomes us to the second here at East Field alongside Luke LaRose. I'm Nathaniel Cunningham. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 for the Mohawks to start this second frame. It's a designated hitter. Wes Walker steps in. The lefty watches the first pitch right down the middle for strike one. Walker this year has got some time behind the plate, but has solidified himself in that DH spot, a rotation of guys there with his .288 batting average. Walker, another one of those guys, though, that just gets on base a ton of 462 OBP, 16 walks to just 11 Ks this year. The 1-1, he slaps out to left field. Houghton barely has to move, grabs it on a line, and it's out number one. So now the guy that had a pretty successful first at-bat last time, he was here at East Field just 24 hours ago. Jake Sparks steps into the box for the first time as an Amsterdam Mohawk. Sparks' first pitch popped up on the infield. It's called off by Sweeney, who grabs it with ease, and it's quick work for Dylan Harding to get the first two outs in the top of the second.
That one jammed Sparks up. Pitch in on the grip area of the bat. Popped it right up.
Sparks didn't get to face the former PGCBL Player of the Week, Dylan Harding. Yesterday it was a five-player day for Glens Falls. They had Ethan McGarry, Xavier Garcia, Aiden Newhall, Michael Sweeney, and then pitching coach Matt Gonzalez closed it out, got the win in that one as well in the exhibition against the Athletics.
Dylan Harding's jersey took part in the game. Gonzalez wore Harding's jersey, but other than that, he didn't.
Harding trying to avoid maybe a little bit of what Gonzalez did in that seventh inning. Gave up a single and hit a batter as well. But other than that, Gonzalez kept it clean. So maybe trying to do a little bit of both. Have some success, but avoid the not so bright moments.
Gonzalez did turn a double play, though.
Not many pitchers that you know that can strike a batter out and then 2 pitches later turn a double play like he did. Harding has got a 2-1 count to Will Cowan. Make it 2-2 now. Cowan not entirely loving that call by home plate umpire Sean Hawley. He has to take a step out. He now watches ball 3. It's the first full count of the day. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Here in the top of the second. Cowan's got just 9 strikeouts in 2025. He chops this one weakly over to Carpier's at short. He fields it cleanly, throws across the diamond, and it's in time for out number 3. So a 1-2-3 second for Dylan Harding puts the bats back in his teammates' hands as we head to the bottom half. The middle part of the lineup for Glens Falls hopes to get a couple of base runners on and get to Amsterdam early as we enter the bottom of the second. It's the lefty Robert Mello who will get things started for Glens Falls. The first pitch that the DH sees is well outside for ball one. Mello, since becoming a more consistent member of the squad, has become one of the better hitters. He's got a .324 batting average through 13 games. He's got 4 doubles, a triple to his name. He just hasn't been in a whole ton of high leverage situations. He's only got 5 RBIs in that stretch. The 2-1 pitch runs inside for ball 3. Reddick delivers the 3-1 pitch. Breaking ball outside. And the first walk of today's ball game is issued by the Mohawks to set up a leadoff base runner for Glens Falls. So the shortstop, Joe Carpierre, steps in now. His 2025 has been unfortunately spelled with one word: strikeout. And watches the first pitch breaking ball. He's got 21 Ks this summer. That's second on the team. The only person that's got more is the first baseman, Jackson Mueller. The difference between Carpierre's and Mueller is that they call him Carp, has got a .258 batting average this year through his 24 games. It's not going to help when you're watching those pitches on the outside half. So Carp has dug himself an early 0-2 hole. The pitch is swung on and missed. You know, they say the broadcaster's curse is real. Maybe the broadcaster's predictions are also true. Strikeout number 22 for Joe Carpierre. Picks up the third strikeout for James Reddick. So now the right fielder, Cody Meyer, steps in. And Meyer said something interesting after the game against the Athletics yesterday, where that game doesn't count. It was an exhibition game, but he went 0 for 3, had 2 groundouts and a strikeout. The game before against Oneonta, though, he was 3 for 4 with 2 doubles, so he's flashed a little bit of what he can do with the bat. Just trying to push yesterday out of his mind and get back to that elite form back in a PGCBL match. Meyer got a lot of playing time early, has been getting more late as he takes a half-hearted swing at an excellent breaking ball that has Dragons head coach Ryan Dio just put his hands to his face. Disappointment from the bench boss. The 1-2. Another breaking ball, half-hearted swing from Meyer. No call by home plate umpire, and the catcher touchstone and licks not to check.
Reddick's got a big swooping breaking ball, and you can see they're just buckling Meyer right now.
Wonder if he goes to that well once again. The 2-2. This one's lined out to deep right field. Back goes McCrane, and he grabs it on the run for out number 2. So McCrane didn't have the best line to the ball. Took a couple of steps to his right before finally turning back, realizing that ball was going to get over his head. Was able to use his legs to get there in time for out number 2. The third baseman, Michael Sweeney, steps in as they go check on Mello at first. Sweeney is looking for hit number 7 in what would be at bat number 50 this season. He's got just a 122 batting average. It's been his defense, though, that's really been good. When you play as much as he does, obviously you're going to rack up what looks to be a ton of errors, but for Sweeney, he's got 36 putouts, 36 assists on the team, so he knows how to get the work done in the middle infield. That leads the squad. The 2-0 pitch, another breaking ball. Only thing that Reddick has thrown this at bat has been those front door breaking balls.
Slider sweeper action on that breaking ball. A little bit more horizontal movement than vertical.
The 3-0. Fastball hits the outside half. Sweeney does have a double this year. Only 2 runs batted in. As he watches that big breaking ball hit the outside half, and Reddick has worked himself back to a full count after being down 3-0. The payoff pitch. Breaking ball swung on by Michael Sweeney. And it's 4 Ks in 2 innings from James Reddick, who is keeping the Dragons at bay with no score as we head to the 3rd. The 3rd inning about to get underway at East Field in a no-run ball game. I'm Nathaniel Cunningham, joined alongside Luke LaRose. It's been relatively shut down for both these teams. The Dragons gave up a pair of singles in the first, but then Dylan Harding went 1-2-3 in the second. On the flip side, James Reddick went 1-2-3 in the first, then gave up a leadoff walk, but got the next 3 batters after that. So through 2, you could say a pitching and defensive battle has been shown, but there's a lot more than just 2 innings in a ball game. The 9-hole hitter, John Young Jr., fouls off the first pitch he sees. Young Jr. hitting .221 this year. How about another guy that likes to walk a ton? 23 free passes that he's grabbed this season.
Showing you SEC knowledge of the strike zone. Another SEC guy.
Watches the 1-1 miss inside. See, you saying that has made me now want to go check their lineup, see what the true collegiate conference breakdown is. So give me a couple minutes, but I'll do that. I'll still give you the commentaries. The 2-1 is smacked up the middle. And you see a little bit of SEC action with a leadoff hit. So it's the top of the lineup for Amsterdam. Luke Philippi will step in. He flew out to left his first time up. Philippi, not an SEC guy, but we'll know a couple of the guys on the Dragons as that one's hit weakly over. Picked by Moat at second to throw to first in time. Christian Moat has flashed some leather the past couple of days. Makes an excellent play after being shaded towards second. Prepping for the stolen bag. Roams all the way into shallow right. And beats Philippi, the speedster, down the first base path for out number 1.
There's a number of guys you could say are definitely in the lineup every day. Not for their bat, but for their defense. Christian Moat, a great example of that. Offensively, really struggled this year, but defensively, he's been as good as it gets.
Well, he hands the ball over to a guy that has been offensively excellent in Chris Holcraft. He had a single his first time up, but he'll reach base a different way this time as he gets hit by the first pitch to put runners on first and second. So now another slugger in Bray Touchstone. He comes to the dish. Touchstone flew out to right his first time up. Touchstone, a guy that plays at Gulf Coast Community College. He's making a name for himself, maybe a transfer portal mentioned for himself. A luxury with community college and junior baseball as he lines that one through the 5-hole of Nick Galello at first. It gets into right. Meyer grabs it, throws into the first baseman. The check at second is over the head of Carpier's. It pulls him off the bag. So it's going to go down as an RBI double for Bray Touchstone. And that puts Amsterdam on top. They lead it 1-0.
That ball was smoked. Don't have a good way of knowing what the actual exit velo on that was, but that was up there for sure, and just no time for Galello to react.
Galello just put his glove down in desperation, but it wasn't enough. It went straight in between his legs and just down that first base line. So Holcraft moves to third. Young Jr. is the guy that scored. And now McLaughlin will go have a conversation with Harding. And this is the type of outing that Amsterdam did to Harding in that 5-2 loss 2 weeks ago. Was just a couple of hits pieced together. You know, that double from Touchstone, the fourth hit for Amsterdam today. You piece those all into one, it's just not gonna be a lot of success.
No, Amsterdam not really super slug team, but they will kill you with the singles and the walks. Their on base percentage as a team just outrageously high.
Also have over 10 players with 10 or more RBIs this season. John McKillop, the first of 3 lefties, steps into the box now. He watches the first pitch strike. McKillop, not one of those SEC guys, but does play for another Division I school. Finished up his freshman year at Army. One of those guys that's playing baseball but also serving the nation at the same time. The 2-1. He chops this one off to the right-hand side. It gets over the head of Harding. Moat fields it cleanly. Can't make a play at first. And it's an RBI single for John McKillop. that doubles Amsterdam's score. They now have it 2-1, 2-0.
One of those East Field awkward bounces again. Over the head Harding. Kind of died before Moat could get to it. There was absolutely nothing anyone could have done on that ball.
It's the high chopper from McKillop. You usually call those the swinging bunts. Brings in the right fielder, Brendan McCrane. McCrane popped up in foul territory to the catcher McLaughlin his first time. He chops that one foul over towards the Mohawk dugout, but it just goes off the fence. Looking through these stats for Brendan McCrane real quick. This season, he's reached base 43 times, whether that's via a hit or a walk. He has scored on 25 of them. He pops this one off to straightaway center. Jackson comes in, makes the play. Tagging from third is going to be Touchstone. The throw from the plate is in time. How about Tyree Jackson making an excellent play from the outfield and picking up his first outfield assist in 2025. A double play ends the top of the third, but Amsterdam leads it 2-0. Amsterdam strikes first in the top of the third to put pressure on Glens Falls here at East Field. It'll be the bottom part of the lineup, 8, 9, and 1, to start it off and respond to the Mohawks. The catcher, Brendan McLaughlin, gets it started for Glens Falls. The backstop has been really the defensive piece as he chops the first pitch over towards the shortstop, Holcraft. He grabs it on a two-hopper and throws to McKillop for a one-pitch out to start the inning. So now the second baseman, Christian Moat, who flashed a little bit of leather in that top half of the third, looks to flash what he can do at the plate as well. The issue has been Moat had a rough 2025. First pitch broken, bat up the middle. Holcraft fields it, throws a sidearm, picked by McKillop. And 2 pitches, 2 outs for James Reddick.
Close one, though. Moat hustled down the line on that one. Barely got out.
That weak contact up the middle. We know Moat's got speed. Hustling it down the line, just couldn't get there in time. You know who else has got speed? The guy that had his first outfield assist of the year to end the top half of the inning, Tyree Jackson. Doing everything to stay out of the very rare 3-pitch inning, watches the first pitch strike. The 0-1 to Jackson's a breaking ball. It's popped foul over towards the parking lot. Jackson hit some weak contact back to Reddick on the bump, who eventually looked a little concerned to throw the ball from the mound, so he walked over towards McKillop before pretty much underhand tossing it. The 1-2. Swung on and missed by Jackson in the dirt is touchstone, so he grabs it and throws to McKillop at first. And it's another 1-2-3 inning for James Reddick. The Mohawks are working through the Dragons as it stays 2-0 in favor of Amsterdam. We head to the fourth. Welcome back here at East Field, where the Dragons trail by 2 to the Mohawks. Check in with some scores around the PGCBL. We told you before the game, Boonville had a 3-1 lead over the Utica Blue Sox. That game has flipped on its head. Utica now leads 6-4 in the top of the fifth.
Huge swing for Glens Falls.
Now they just need to have their bats come alive and score a couple of runs as well. The Oneonta Outlaws also have a 1-run lead over the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. So that would also help Glens Falls out as Mohawk Valley sits at third in the East Division standings. Either way, Dylan Harding, the starting pitcher for the Dragons, goes back out for his fourth inning of work. The first pitch that he throws, though, is to Wes Walker, and it drills him. The second hit batter by Harding today puts a leadoff runner on. So the next lefty, Jake Sparks, will step in. He looks to maybe do a little bit what he didn't do last time. He weakly popped up on the infield over to Michael Sweeney. We know Sparks can swing it. Obviously, he had that double against the Dragons yesterday, but in college at Siena, he hit .319 last season, and he drills this one out to deep left field. Houghton goes back, turns around a couple of ways, and it gets over his head to two-hop off the fence. Houghton gets it in. They're going to send Walker to the plate. No throw is in time. And the first hit for Jake Sparks in his Amsterdam career is an RBI double to left. And the Mohawks have it 3-0.
Great way to welcome yourself to your new team.
2 RBI doubles in 2 days for the third baseman. Pretty pleasant way to start your PGCBL career if you're Jake Sparks. He now passes the baton over to the left fielder, Will Cowan. Cowan grounded out his first time back in the second. He squares to bunt. This one back to Harding, who trips on the mound, and it goes over his head. So Harding, who was trying to rush off the mound, looked like he tripped on the dirt on the area where the dirt turns to grass in front of the pitcher's mound. He waves off McLaughlin now, saying he's all right. But if a tough day got any worse, Dylan Harding takes a tumble, can't make a play, and puts runners on the corners with nobody out.
Scary moment right there.
It also goes down as a hit for Will Cowan. There was no play makeable because of Harding just tripping either on his own feet or the ground. So now 2 runners are on with John Young Jr., who fouls this one off to the left-hand side. Young Jr. had a single in the 3rd and then would come around to score. The first run to reach home this game. The 0-1. Runs inside. Sparks also moved to 3rd on that single from Cowan. So runners stand at the corners. They're going to go check on Cowan over at first. He gets back in there safely. Me and Harding must have had similar mindsets. I was pulling out the stat sheet to explain that Cowan does have 8 stolen bases this year, and the starter decided he was concerned he might try to make that 9. The 1-1 also misses up. So Dylan Harding, who's proven to be one of the better pitchers for Glens Falls, is just getting tagged by the best team in the PGCBL this season. The 2-1 bounced in the dirt. It's not often that you see Harding work around batters. He'd rather get hit for 10 than walk 10. That's what Dylan Harding has believed this year. He throws the ball in the zone and makes batters beat him. The 3-1 pitch is chopped over towards the second baseman, Christian Mote. The throw to second gets 1. The throw to first in time. An excellent 4-6-3 double play. Puts 2 outs on the board, but a run does come home to score. And Amsterdam's got it 4-0. The lineup card turns over, and Luke Filippi will step in for the 3rd time in 4 innings. He squares the bunt, almost puts one beautifully down the 3rd base line. Just a little too far for strike 1. Filippi's 0 for 2 today with a fly out and a ground out. He chops that one over to Mote at second. He fields it on the 2-hop, throws to Galello easily. And Christian Mote showing off the defensive prowess. He's been stellar today. But still, Amsterdam has got a 4-run lead. is the 2, 3, and 4 hitters that look to elicit some offense, as the Dragons have yet to, however, have only had one runner reach base today. It's James Houghton that steps in. He watches the first pitch high for ball 1. Something also to note, the third baseman, Sparks, is pretty much in the hole between short and third, as this one's chopped over towards the shortstop, Holcraft. The throw to first is a half a step, beats Houghton for out number 1.
I did notice Sparks do that earlier. I can't remember if it was against Houghton or Mello, but he will do that against lefties.
Not afraid to shift himself heavily against the left-handed hitters, and now moves back to his normal position to face Nick Galello. The first pitch Galello sees is chopped along the third base line in fair territory. Sparks grabs it, throws across the diamond, not in time. So you'll excuse a little bit of some stuttering over the mouth. I was avoiding saying that the Dragons were being no-hit up until that point, because Nick Galello, the last time he said the Dragons were getting no-hit, put a moonshot out by the purple house in left field. So maybe a little bit of deja vu, a superstitious guy I am, so figured at least throw an offer out there. But Galello still reaches base safely with the first hit of the day for Glens Falls, as now Reddick is going to go check on him.
And Galello, 2 out of the last 3 nights, broke the no-hit streak through 3 1/3.
Big swing from Robert Mello is strike 1. But it's also just this 4th inning for Glens Falls that has been really stellar these last 2 nights. Obviously, Galello's home run in the 4th against Oneonta sparked a 5-run inning. They have a lead and they never look back, as they'll check on Galello once again. But yesterday against the Athletics, 2 doubles and then 2 singles scored 2 for Glens Falls. They still trailed by 1 at that point, but it put the game within reach, and then they would end up walking it off in the bottom of the 7th. The 0-1 is chopped over the head of McKillop at first and down the right field line in fair. Galello will get to third. He'll stay there standing up. Mello couldn't get to second, as it was fielded well by McCrane in right. And now there's runners on the corners with 1 out. Something about this 4th inning, Luke, just seems like the team needs a little bit of actual game time to get underway before they can get their feet underneath them.
And the last couple of 4th inning rallies has happened with 1 out.
So
almost every night.
Baton gets passed to the shortstop, Joe Carpier's. He struck out his first time. Runners on the move. The hit and run is drilled out to the right center field gap. Filippi grabs it in the gap, but in to score is going to be Galello, and the Dragons finally get on the board. They now only trail by 3 on the sacrifice fly from Joe Carpier's. So now in steps the right fielder, Cody Meyer, who's 0 for 1 today. Dug himself an early 0-2 count, and then was able to fight off a ball where he almost reached, but it was a fly out to Brendan McCrane in right. He watches the first pitch breaking ball too far inside.
Remember last time up for Meyer, Reddick's breaking balls, put Meyer in a blender. I'd imagine Reddick goes right back to that.
The 1-0. There's that breaking ball again. Hits the outside half. Standing at first is Mello, who we saw him take off. Doesn't have a stolen base this year. He's been caught once on the base paths. The 1-1, chopped foul into the parking lot. So the Dragons picking up their first 2 hits of the ball game this inning. They get one of those run back and now trail just 4-1. The 1-2 runs upstairs. Yesterday wasn't the pleasantest for Cody Meyer. He went 0 for 3 with a strikeout. The day before, the last PGCBL matchup, he was 3 for 4 with 2 doubles, one of which being an RBI extra base hit. That one's fouled straight back. He's fighting off. He's going to make Reddick earn this out. Dragons finally got to the Amsterdam starter. Reddick will come sit. The 2-2 is chopped over towards the shortstop, Holcraft. He grabs it, makes a running throw to first, and it's in time for out number 3. So the Dragons get one back as we head to the 5th inning here at East Field. We're set from the 5th here at East Field in Glens Falls, New York. Alongside Luke LaRose, I'm Nathaniel Cunningham. Glens Falls trails 4-1 after 4 innings. But the Dragons were no hit through the first 3. Finally got to James Reddick for Amsterdam and got on the board. Now they hope Dylan Harding, the starter, can continue to get weak contact out of this Amsterdam lineup. But it's going to be tough. With the 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up, it's Chris Holcraft, the shortstop, who's had a defensive piece all over today's game. He starts the top of the 5th. The first pitch he sees is on the outside half for strike 1.
Dylan Harding, last couple innings, has kind of danced around the zone. He's at his best when he can just flood the zone with strikes. Need him to get back to that, draw that weak contact.
Well, that one's hit a mile high into shallow center field. Jackson makes it look like it's light work. Comes in with ease to bring it in for out number 1.
Just like that is what you need from Harding. Ball up in the zone that they can't chase, but was still in the strike zone.
Those fly balls to center, the ones that are especially hit high like that, they're not the easiest plays. Tyree Jackson acted like it was just another day at the office. The catcher, Bray Touchstone, steps in, and just another day at the office for him watching those pitches outside. Mention the excellent year that Touchstone's having. As he grounds that one over toward third. It's picked by Sweeney. The throw across the diamond in time. The Eastfield hop almost got towards the left side, something that's happened quite a bit for the Dragons. Instead, Michael Sweeney picks it with ease and it's out number 2. So the big lefty first baseman, John McKillop, stands in. He's 2 for 2 today. His first pitch swinging over towards Sweeney, who grabs it, throws on the run. How about Michael Sweeney? The glove is golden at the hot corner. He makes 2 excellent plays to end the top of the 5th and put the bats back in the Hot Dragons' hands. The halfway mark in today's ball game has come as we enter the bottom of the 5th. It's Michael Sweeney, the guy that flashed the leather over at the hot corner. He'll get it started in the bottom half of the frame. It's 7, 8, and 9 for the Dragons, the bottom half of the lineup that's done damage over the last couple of games. Sweeney watches the first pitch upstairs. The third baseman went down swinging his first time. 1 of 5 strikeouts for James Reddick today. And Reddick, the big righty from Fordham, trying to continue his excellent performance when he had a quality start back on July 13th. Reminder, in that one he went 6 innings, gave up just 2 hits, and struck out 8. He didn't allow a run in that one. He has today. And it's really been that big breaking ball that he throws that just fooled Glens Falls.
Talk about even more Division I talent. Fordham, the Rams, they're a Division I school too.
The 2-2. Chopped foul. Sweeney did a good job to just... Oh, excuse me. It was chopped into the glove of Bray Touchstone behind the plate. So the backstop making an excellent defensive play to corral that one, even though it was off the bat of Sweeney. And it's another strikeout for James Reddick. Brendan McLaughlin's first pitch swinging over to Chris Holcraft, who's had a lot of action today. He just loves to throw on the run. That's like a piece of cake for him over at short. Takes the first pitch from McLaughlin and makes it out number 2. So now the second baseman, Christian Moat. I'd argue the counterpart that's shown what he could do defensively today. Instead of being over at short, over at second, he steps in, watches the first pitch, breaking ball. That's right down Broadway. The 0-1 upstairs. It's interesting because of the 11 outs James Reddick has retired, 6 of them have been to the shortstop, Chris Holcraft. We mentioned Dylan Harding using his defense, trusting the team behind him. Well, it looks like Reddick is enlisting the same. The other outs have been via strikeout. So now he's got 6 Ks and 6 ground outs all to the shortstop. But either way, it keeps a 3-run lead for Amsterdam as we head to the 6th. The pitcher's duel has persisted here into the 6th of Eastfield alongside Luke LaRose. I'm Nathaniel Cunningham. Despite giving up 4 runs, Dylan Harding, he's allowed 7 hits, but it's been a quiet 7 hits, nothing really loud, just a couple of base hits that have really developed into those 4 runs. And on the flip side, James Reddick has allowed just 2 hits over an inning of work, and he's allowed just 1 free pass. So I'd say you could definitely call it a pitcher's duel with Harding back on the mound. His first pitch to Brendan McCrane hits him on the leg, and McCrane is hit, and he's not all too happy about it. It's the 3rd hit batter from Dylan Harding. And McCrane will walk his way down to first base. He's probably not all too excited because it's his 6th time being hit this season. The only players that have been hit more are the leadoff guy, Luke Philippi, and Bray Touchstone, who, if you recall, will pretty much stand on the inside of the right-hand batter's box.
Yeah, McCrane doesn't set up super far inside. That one kind of looked like it slipped out of Harding's hand.
Slipped or not, it puts a runner on first with nobody out. The first pitch now to Wes Walker. He goes back inside, just too far.
But the last inning for Harding was what you want to see out of Harding, which was flood the strike zone. Let his defense do the work. He needs to get back to that again here.
They go check on McCrane at first. Ball in the dirt. Galello does a good job to pick it. It was the 6th, or excuse me, it's the 8th hit batter of the year for Dylan Harding. Who goes and checks on McCrane again over at first, who gets back in with ease. McCrane does have 11 stolen bags, 2nd on the team for Amsterdam. He's only been caught once, as he takes a good lead off of first. The 1-0 pitch, outside. Walker, the DH, lined out to left his first time and then was hit his second. That led off of the 4th inning. In that frame, Amsterdam came around to score. The 2-0 is hit foul off to the left-hand side. It's interesting to note, Luke, through these first 5 innings, when the leadoff hitter for Amsterdam gets on, the Mohawks score runs. Despite everything else in those other 3 innings, when the leadoff hitter is out, the Mohawks haven't scored. The throw from McCrane, the throw from McLaughlin to McCrane is in time. Brendan McLaughlin throws out his 7th runner of the season. Catches McCrane on the base pass for just the 2nd time in 2025. And Brendan McLaughlin helps out his pitcher, Dylan Harding, who now has a 3-1 count to Wes Walker to worry about.
Beautiful throw from McLaughlin. Put that one right where you want it.
The pitch got Walker swinging, and now Harding has worked himself to a full count.
Another high fastball. Hard pitch to catch up to if Harding can locate it right.
The 3-2. Inside for ball 4. So instead, Amsterdam will put that runner back on first and bring up the lefty, Jake Sparks. We were talking about colleges a little bit earlier, Luke, and Jake Sparks obviously attends Siena College, which this year, starting in the fall, will actually be known as Siena University, getting approval from New York State to change its name. But got me thinking, he plays out of the MAC, but not the real MAC, the MAAC, the Mid-Atlantic Athletic Conference. And got me wondering, what do you call, what's the real MAC to you, 1A or 2As?
To me, it's the 1A MAC. I know a lot of people around here might disagree because the Siena and a couple other colleges, but when I think of the MAC, I think of the American Conference.
Yeah, the 2 versions of the MAC as the comebackers caught by Harding. He'll turn a double play to first, and the pitcher makes an excellent grab. We're sitting here talking about college conferences, and the starter, Dylan Harding, steals a hit from Jake Sparks and had Wes Walker well too far off the base paths for out number 3. So an excellent end to the frame. Turns the page, and maybe the Dragons grab a little momentum. The top of the lineup Looks to take that momentum Dylan Harding just grabbed with an excellent play, flashing the leather, and put it into their bats. It's Tyree Jackson to get it started here in the bottom of the 6th. He's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout. He watches the first pitch hit the outside half.
Past couple days, when a pitcher put on the number 30 jersey, they turned a double play.
Jackson hits this one weakly out to center field. Filippi comes in, but he can't get there in time. And it's a leadoff single for Tyree Jackson. Start in the action for the Drags.
Reddick's been great at generating weak contact, but sometimes weak contact can't beat perfectly placed balls, and that one perfectly placed in the hole out in left center.
So now it's a lefty. That infield shifts again, even with a whole lot of speed at first. If James Houghton can put one in the outfield, Jackson easily could go from corner to corner. He checks his swing there, but it's fouled off his bat. Mentioned the amount of speed that Jackson has had, but in his last 4 stolen base attempts, they're going to check on him. Tried to get him going towards second, but he dives back in. In his last 4 stolen base attempts, he's 1 for 3. Or, excuse me, 1 for 4. He's been caught 3 of his last 4 times. He's dancing over there at the first again and decides not to go as the big breaking ball is in the zone to James Houghton. The 0-2 is fouled off. Houghton just got a piece of it. Could be a big inning for Glens Falls, trying to work out of a 3-run deficit. They're going to go check on Jackson again at first. He gets back in with ease. And Jackson still looks for stolen base number 10 in 2025. He's had 9 through his first 17 games. The 0-2. Outside. Reddick thought that one had the up and outside corner. Home plate umpire Sean Hollick disagreed. The left fielder gets ready. The 1-2. Jackson's on the move. The throw from Touchstone bounced in the dirt. Just got over the head of Reddick and not in time. So Jackson does finally steal stolen base number 10 this season. Puts himself in scoring position with now a 2-2 count for James Houghton. Reddick will step off to reset. There's still nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Reddick comes set, takes a look at Jackson. The 2-2 is swung on and missed. It's a big strikeout if you're James Reddick. His 8th of the day. And picks up a big first out. The issue is he now has to welcome Nick Galello to the plate as out comes Keith Griffin to the mound, and he's going to have a conversation with the starter, James Reddick, on what the play is going to be here. It's been 66 pitches so far for James Reddick, so he's not getting to that point of needing to come out of the game, but there is some movement for Amsterdam in their bullpen. And it might just be a precautionary tale. Maybe they don't even want to pitch to Nick Golello. And can you really blame him? The guy's hitting 245 this year. But he's got 5 home runs, 3 of which have come within the last week and a half. He's stormed out of nowhere. He's made a very strong case for PGCBL Player of the Week honors.
He is tearing the cover off the baseball.
The 0-1 pitch, or the 0-0 pitch, is a breaking ball that hits the inside half.
All 3 of those homers, too. No doubters.
Yeah, the first couple he didn't necessarily act like it, but the last one against Oneonta, he tattooed it, and he knew it. Players of the Week come out every Monday. So Golello has another good performance today. He's already 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. So another good performance today, and tomorrow against the Stallions would definitely give him and make him an option. He breaks his bat on a check swing that's off to the right-hand side, and that's not going to help any thoughts. Maybe that's a lucky bat or the one that he's used to see success, but the ball just runs inside on his hands. He checks his swing, and it hit just the right spot to create some firewood.
Balls in on the hand is what Reddick uses to get that soft contact. With a guy like Golello, you don't want it out over the plate because he will punish you.
Golello pulled that last home run down the left field line, so if he can get out in front of one like he has before, it's not like it's any better than if it was straight down Park Ave. Reddick comes set. The 1-2 is popped up out into right field. McCrane has got to work his way back. He gets underneath it for out number 2. Has an absolute dart of a throw, but it's well behind Jackson, who gets to third. So Golello flies out to right, but moves the second run for Glens Falls 90 feet from home. Now the designated hitter is the lefty Robert Mello. 1-2 in this Glens Falls lineup. He's first pitch swinging, but it goes well foul. Mello has reached base in both at-bats. Back in the second with a walk, and then in the fourth, he had an RBI or a single. He watches the 0-1 pitch in the zone, and now Reddick is just 1 pitch away from negating that leadoff single. The 0-2 upstairs. Reddick, not messing around, was quick to get back on the bump. The 1-2 swung on and missed. James Reddick picks out strikeout number 9 of the day, and he's held Glens Falls to just 1 run on 3 hits and 9 strikeouts through 6 innings of work. You imagine his day is done, but a stellar performance at East Field has given Amsterdam a 3-run lead. Time is running out for the Dragons as we enter the last third of this ball game here at Eastfield. I'm Nathaniel Cunningham, joined alongside Luke LaRose, covering the East Division rivalry between the leading Amsterdam Mohawks and the Glens Falls Dragons. It's 8, 9, and 1 to come to the plate for Amsterdam. The first pitch to left fielder Will Cowan is outside for ball one. Harding working in his 7th inning. His pitch count has been relatively low. This is pitch number 70. It finds the zone. So for Harding to go through 7 innings of work, get tattooed, it feels like, for 7 hits and 4 runs, and still be under 80 pitches, it's pretty impressive. The 1-1 flown out to right field, curving towards the foul territory, and it will land foul.
Harding's gotten bailed out by a couple double plays and a couple quick at-bats, too. It's helped him keep the pitch count down all night long, especially in those innings when he doesn't get as scared and work around the zone. When he attacks the zone, that pitch count has stayed down.
Well, he's had 2 1-2-3 innings, and last inning was technically a 1-2-3, even though 2 batters reached base. As that one's lined over Harding's head, Moat grabs it on the 1-hop, throws to Galello at first, and it's in time for out number 1.
At bats like that are why he's able to keep the pitch count down.
It's also crucial to know he hasn't worked into a ton of full counts today. And unless I'm reading my book wrong, through now 6 1/3, it doesn't look like he has a strikeout.
I believe you'd be correct.
So maybe not the most ideal statistic if you're Dylan Harding, but quick work and trusting the defense behind you is really what any coach is going to hope that their starting pitcher can do for them. That's what Harding has done today. Just confirmed with the box score. No, he does not have a strikeout today, but only the 1 walk. The 0-1 pitch. First ball we've seen today from either squad to get behind the catcher. McLaughlin kind of just with a half-hearted pick down to grab it and missed it. So John Young Jr., the second baseman, steps in. He takes a big cut at the 1-1. He's 1 for 2 in today's ball game. Had an RBI single back in the third. Had a single back in the third, came around to score. And then he had an RBI double play. Don't always see that. As he chops this one weakly over to Carpier's at short. He fields it, throws across the diamond. Not in time. Nick Galello looks up at field umpire Bill Decker, kind of with that look of, are you serious? Carpier's did an excellent job to come in from deep in that shortstop hole to throw across. Galello looking over towards the dugout, kind of like, hey, Ryan Dio, the head coach, is out of the dugout looking at Decker with that patented kind of stare that he has. He was sitting down on the bucket and stands up, emotionless is the best way to describe Ryan Dio. But it puts a runner on first as they're going to go check on Young Jr.
I mean, that was a really close play. In reality, that could have been a coin flip, and I think he would have been right either way.
Luke Filippi, the leadoff hitter, fouls one straight back. It's tough being a field umpire, and Bill Decker, who's made the trip up here to Eastfield multiple times this year, has been solid all season long. He's usually been pretty transparent, too, with head coaches about why he makes calls the way that he has, as another check on Young Jr. occurs. The 0-1 runs inside. Harding is just trying to work quick, concerned with John Young Jr. over on the base paths. He does have 10 stolen bags this season. The 1-1. Chopped foul to the left-hand side over by the Mohawks dugout as the on-deck hitter, Chris Holcraft, tried to pick it. Instead, it goes out of his glove. First time today we've seen anything get out of the hands of Chris Holcraft. Happens when he's not even on the field. The 1-2. Outside. The 2-2. This one's hit in between the shortstop and third baseman. It'll get out to left for a base knock. So now that play at first haunting the Dragons even more. Puts 2 runners on with only 1 down. So Sean Hollick will clean off home plate, allow Chris Holcraft some time to come set, and now pitching coach Matt Gonzalez is going to come out and have a conversation with Harding. Again, his pitch count just now reaching 81 pitches. As we see Jake O'Connor getting warm in the Glens Falls bullpen. And I'm sure the Dragons would love nothing more than Harding to just get through the inning. And then they can hand the ball over to O'Connor with a clean slate, because O'Connor at times has been known to give up some loud contact, and especially when he comes in the middle of the inning and doesn't have kind of that fresh slate to work with, he can get hit pretty hard sometimes.
I think the plan all night long has been to go to O'Connor as the second pitcher. He's been up and moving periodically all night long.
So there's 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Young Jr. stands at second. Filippi stands at first. Arguably the best hitter for Amsterdam, Chris Holcraft, is the guy in the box. The first pitch he sees is low for ball 1. The 1-0. Chopped, foul off to the left-hand side. I think with this first out here in the top of the 7th, it's also the longest appearance of the season for Dylan Harding. That one's chopped up the middle, off the glove of Carpier's at short and into center field. Round to score is going to be Young Jr. Filippi is going to go first to third. And it's going to go down as an E6 on Joe Carpier's. The shortstop couldn't quite get to the ball, and it kicked off his glove. Just kind of booted it. It's his 6th error of the season. Tied for top of the Dragons. Not as the category he wants to lead in. And Amsterdam gets that 1 run back that Glens Falls grabbed. It's a 5-1 ball game here in the top of the 7th. Bray Touchstone, the catcher, steps in. He watches the first pitch ball. The 1-0, also outside. Touchstone's 1 for 2 with an RBI double, or 1 for 3 with an RBI double back in the 3rd. That's a broken bat ball over to Mode at second. He flips to short for 1. The throw to first, not in time. So more weak contact from Dylan Harding as it was almost an inning-ending double play, the second for Glens Falls today. Instead, another run for Amsterdam will come across to score, but a second out also tallied. The fielder's choice allows Touchstone to reach and turns the bat over to John McKillop. He watches the first pitch ball. The 1-0 fouled off to the left-hand side. That sounded like it might have hit a car or maybe something not too fun over the bleachers. There is the road just then, a couple of houses as well behind East Field, so not often that you hear something. Normally it disappears once it's gone out of view, but that one definitely had a nice sound to it. The 1-1 chopped over towards Mode at second. Takes an East Field hop as he flips to second for the force out. Amsterdam gets Harding for another 2 and make more than likely the end of his day a little sour. They lead it by 5 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Welcome back to East Field in the bottom of the 7th with a new pitcher on the mound for Amsterdam. James Reddick, stellar performance for the Mohawks, goes 6 innings, allowed 3 hits, just 1 run. It was earned, but he walked just 1 and struck out 9. Taking over on the bump is going to be statistically the best pitcher for Amsterdam is Mason Veronese. He's pitched a couple of times against Glens Falls, and the coastal Alabama North Community College guy has been locked down this season. He's got a 0.7 ERA across 7 appearances. He's got 2 saves to his name, and because he comes in here in the 7th, if he finishes the last 3, would pick up save number 3. But across those 7 appearances, he's gone 12 innings. He's given up quite a few hits, 10 hits on the year, but he's allowed just 1 earned run. And very similar to Dylan Harding, doesn't strike out a lot of batters, but doesn't give up free passes either. 7 strikeouts and only 4 walks. First pitch that he throws to Joe Carpier's is swung on and missed. Carpier's is 0 for 1 today with the sacrifice fly back in the 4th. That cut the deficit in half for Glens Falls. The 0-2 is swung on. That made it a 3-run ball game for the Dragons. And the only run that's come home to score for the home squad. The 0-2 is hit through the infield and into left for a base knock. Joe Carpier's welcomes Mason Veronese out of the bullpen. Picks up his first single of the day and just the fourth for the Dragons to put the leadoff runner on base.
Little redemption from the error he had in the top of the inning.
The last time Veronese pitched was back on July 16th against this Dragon squad. That was at home over at Rowell Family Stadium at Shuttleworth Park, and what was the 8-5 win. He threw 2 innings, gave up just a hit, allowed no runs. He picked up the win in that game. He's looking to have similar success as he digs an early 0-2 count to Cody Meyer. Veronese was then followed by Manny Santos, the local Amsterdam kid, that finished it out and punched a ticket to an 8-5 win. The 0-2 below the zone. Veronese gets the sign, takes a look at Carpier's at first. The 1-2 is chopped foul. Carpier's has got 3 stolen bases this year, but he's also been caught twice on the base paths. So it'd be surprising to see if the shortstop's on the move, but the Dragons do need to do everything they can to stay out of double play. Try to get any momentum they can. The 1-2. This one's lined out to left field. Back goes Cowan, but he goes back just a couple of steps and has it for out number 1. So now there's going to be a conversation between Touchstone and Veronese. Just a little bit of a communication maybe, or a mix-up of pitches from the backstop and the reliever. As into the box steps the third baseman, Michael Sweeney. Sweeney's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts today. Both of them came as swinging strikeouts. As Sweeney's still looking to pick up hit number 7, increase that batting average from 122. The first pitch is swung on and missed. The 0-1 misses inside. Also interesting to note, Veronese in that last appearance against the Dragons, he threw 2 innings. He didn't strike anybody out. He did allow 3 walks, though. So 3 of his 4 walks on the year came against the Dragons.
Something I think I just noticed, Sweeney, an adopter of the torpedo bat.
A couple of members of the Dragons using that, you call it newer technology, more popular technology is the way I'd say I should say. The 2-1 is swung over the top of. Excuse me. Veronese had 2 walks in that game against Glens Falls on Wednesday. The 2-2 is swung on and missed. Sweeney goes down swinging for the 3rd time today. As the backstop, Brendan McLaughlin will try to do something and move Joe Carpier's. In 3 of the 7 innings today, Glens Falls has had the leadoff base runner reach. In all 3 of those innings, they have yet to score. Big breaking ball from Veronese. He's got a very over-the-top arm slot. Guy that pitches very 12-6 and almost moves his body around his arm.
It's a bit of a different look for these Dragons hitters to adjust to.
That one's popped foul. Just gets caught at the top of the net.
His arm right over the top, his body kind of dipping away. That lead shoulder dips down off the mound. It's a bit of a different look for the hitters to adjust to.
Compare that to Reddick, who is not quite in the 3/4 slot. Still a full arm slot, but way out to the side and very much using that to create his action on the sweeper. The 1-1 is foul, tipped into the glove, a touchdown. So you saw a big breaking ball moving east to west from the starter, James Reddick. Now you see the reliever, Mason Veronese, very north to south. A weird arm slot to just attack the Dragons. The 1-2, upstairs.
That one, that last pitch, arm slot not as over the top, a little bit more traditional. Just changing it up a little bit depending on the pitch.
The 2-2 is swung on and missed. Veronese gets 2 strikeouts after giving up a leadoff single. And it stays a 6-1 ball game as we enter the final 2 frames. Welcome back to East Field here in Glens Falls, New York. It's still a 6-1 ball game in favor of Amsterdam as we enter the 8th inning. A defensive substitution for the Mohawks. Sebastian Harden takes over in left field for Will Cowan. So he's the guy that caught Cody Myers fly out to left. He will get his first at bat potentially in this 8th inning if Jake O'Connor, who takes over on the mound, could keep it shut down. Dylan Harding, maybe not his most ideal day, but a pretty good day nonetheless. 7 innings pitched, gave up 9 hits, allowed 6 runs, only 5 of them were earned. He walked just a batter. He didn't strike anybody out, but he did all of that on 90 pitches. kept the pitch count low, trusted his defense, and as a result, you would think the Dragons would benefit, but with a team as electric as Amsterdam, it's a 5-run deficit. O'Connor will step on the mound, and the first pitch that he throws to Brendan McCrane is a breaking ball that never broke. O'Connor, getting this relief appearance with a fresh slate, can set the tone of how he plans on going and gets a big cut from McCrane. O'Connor's the first member of the Dragons to reach 10 appearances. This will be his 11th, as he's got an 8.27 ERA across 16 1/3 innings. The 1-1. This one's popped out into shallow right field. Meyer's got to come in a couple of steps, and he's got it for out number 1. So the DH, Wes Walker, steps to the plate now. He's 0 for 1 today with a line out back in the second. He was then hit by a pitch in the fourth where he came around to score and then walked in the sixth, where he was then on the bad side of a comebacker by Jake Sparks that Dylan Harding grabbed and caught Walker in no man's land. The first pitch is outside for ball 1. There's going to be now a quick conversation between McLaughlin and O'Connor on the bump. And something I've noticed, just real quick as a thought process, Luke. Amsterdam is 6 for 15 today with runners on the base paths. It's a batting average of about 400. The Dragons are 1 for 11 with the runners on the base paths for a batting average of 0.91.
Not great if you're Glens Falls.
It's been a storyline all season, is that the runners will get on base. It's getting the runners home that has been the problem. The 1-0 is swung on by Walker. The surprising part about that stat that jumps off the page when you look at it is that the Dragons have left just 4 runners on base. That's because that's all the hits they've had. All 4 of their hits have been stranded. The 1-1 is popped up a mile high, but it's going to get well foul. And I'm right on top of the broadcast booth. I was about to say it went over because you didn't hear the thud, but that just goes to tell you how high that ball was hit straight up into the air. And if there was no roof here in our broadcast booth, Luke, that it honestly sounded like it was right above us, would have landed between us.
Yeah, that was directly in the middle of us.
Would nice to get a nice souvenir, but also glad I don't have to worry about baseballs flying back. The 1-2 is drilled out to deep right field. Meyer's got to go straight back. It one-hops off the wall. Walker is going to go towards second. The throw from Meyer almost in time, but instead the designated hitter picks up a 1-out double and puts a runner in scoring position for the Mohawks.
Solid contact. Hard hit line drive. I think Meyer lost it for a second, but I don't think he's going to get to that. Even if he saw that off the rip, that ball was smoked.
5th double of 2025 for Wes Walker. And we talked about loud contact coming off the hands of Jake O'Connor. There's Exhibit A. First pitch breaking ball now to Jake Sparks. Upstairs. The 1-0. This one's popped up a mile high over into foul right field. Meyer goes over towards the Dragons dugout, but it lands on the concourse and over towards the snack shack. That ball was in the air for about 6 or 7 seconds. It cleared easily the light towers
You know who also made a really long run? Christian Moat, all the way to second to the fence.
And dropped his hat in the process, but he showed a good defensive outing today. The 1-1. This one's drilled also out to right field. That's not going to get caught. Down the right field line, two hopping off the fence. Walker will score with ease. Sparks will put his way into second. And Jake Sparks loves it here at East Field. His third RBI double in 2 days puts the Mohawks a run further. They now lead it 7-1.
Jake Sparks turning into the Dragons' kryptonite. That man has made loud contact almost every time he's been up to the plate. And he's been feasting on these Dragons pitchers.
Well, Sparks now is 2 for 4 with 2 RBI doubles and a run scored to his name. So first game with the Mohawks, and he's never left. The first pitch now for the first at-bat of Sebastian Harden misses upstairs. Harden again was the defensive substitution in the top half of the 8th. So now he's getting his first at-bat. Excuse me, he was a defensive substitution in the bottom of the 7th. He gets his first at-bat here in the top of the 8th. Watches the 2-0 pitch miss upstairs, and now it's a 3-0 count from O'Connor. Harden is one of 6 players on this team to have a batting average above 300. Touchstone and McKillop are 2 of the other members of that club. And the other guys are players that may have left the team or no longer playing. Ryan Schwartz, Jake Long, and Luke Costello, the other members of the 300 average club. And that's just on Amsterdam nonetheless. The 3-1 is fouled straight back. So O'Connor had a big first out in the top of the 8th, and since then it's been double-double. The payoff hits the top of the zone, and Jake O'Connor gets his first strikeout of the day. Sits down Sebastian Harden in his first at-bat.
And since Harding didn't have a strikeout at all, it's Glens Falls' first strikeout of the night.
Took all the way until halfway through the 8th for the first strikeout from the Dragons to come. And it's Jake O'Connor who picks up his 7th of the season. The first pitch now to John Young Jr. runs up inside and hits him in the helmet. He tried to dip out of the way, but he couldn't get out of the way enough, and instead will get checked on by head coach Keith Griffin. The athletic trainer for Amsterdam comes out. And just precautionary tale in case there's any extracurricular work done to John Young Jr. as he looks to walk to first just like he normally would. That's the 7th batter this season that Jake O'Connor has hit. And now leads the team for the Dragons as well. I think, more unfortunately, that turns the lineup card to bring up Luke Filippi. Filippi's not had, at the plate, you could argue not the best season. He's hitting sub 200. But again, when you're a guy like him who has 39 walks and an on-base percentage near 500, it doesn't really matter if you're hitting just 194. The 2-0 pitch. Outside. O'Connor's not been known to miss the zone. It's usually been just teams hitting his pitches really well. The 3-0, right down Broadway. The 3-1 upstairs for ball 4. So a free pass issued by Jake O'Connor will load the bases for Chris Holcraft. And now all of a sudden Ryan Dio will come out and have a conversation with O'Connor. He waves the entire infield back, so it's just Dio, McLaughlin, and O'Connor on the bump. And you can only imagine what the bench boss is saying, but it looked like maybe a confrontational mound visit, but then they both get on the same page.
We saw him wave off the infield the other night, too.
When head coach Ryan Dio comes out of the dugout for a mound visit and enlists to not change the pitchers, usually it's not the most pleasant mound visit. But O'Connor in a big spot, 2 outs, bases loaded. Chris Holcraft, one of the best hitters for the Mohawks at the plate. O'Connor gets a first pitch strike on the shortstop.
There is definitely not going to be a pitching change when Dio came up because bullpen is bone dry right now.
The 0-1 hits the outside half for strike 2. So all of a sudden, O'Connor has got the PGCBL All-Star, Chris Holcraft, in an 0-2 count. The reliever comes set, but then chooses to step off. McLaughlin now will go have a conversation, just catcher and pitcher on the mound. It's also interesting to note, and we haven't had to say this, luckily, for it seems like a couple of weeks here at Eastfield, but Chris Holcraft represents what would be the Mercy Rule run. So if Holcraft can come around to score, reach, and then come around to score, that would be run number 11, and Amsterdam would then just need 3 outs in the bottom of the 8th. If O'Connor can keep it clean, then we will, no matter what, play the full 9th frame. The righty delivers. The 0-2 is in the dirt. McLaughlin does a great job to block it. The 1-2, fouled straight back. It's also good to note Jake O'Connor, he pitched at Hudson Valley Community College this past season, but back in June announced his commitment to Southern Connecticut State University. So most of the time when you see a guy commit in summer ball, that usually ends their season. O'Connor and choosing to continue to play. Try to help the Dragons get back to the PGCBL playoffs. The 1-2 is popped, foul. The 1-2 runs upstairs. Almost nailed Holcraft. And these two are going at it. Big spot. Deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 6-run ball game here at East Field. The 2-2. Hits the outside half for strike 3. O'Connor froze Chris Holcraft and set him down, looking to keep the game within reach for Glens Falls. Six outs to go for the Dragons. Look to make a 6-run comeback. It's the second baseman, Christian Moat, who steps into the box for the second time this season. Or excuse me, this game, not this season. He's 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a ground out. The first pitch. He pops this one off into foul territory on the left-hand side. Over goes the third baseman, Sparks, but it'll get out by the Mohawk bullpen. Despite the offensive day not being the best for Christian Moat, it's the defense that's been on full display. The second baseman has turned a couple of double plays, made some excellent moving throws, flashed that leather all over the field. The 1-1. Swung on. It's Mason Veronese who's back out there for a second inning of work. See a couple of guys for Amsterdam up by their bullpen. Maybe they enlist a third pitcher in this ball game. It's also important to note Amsterdam only has 7 games to go compared to the Dragons, who have got 10 to finish this season. And Amsterdam, they have a 3-game break or 3-day break after today. They don't play again until Tuesday, July 22nd. As Moat pops this one foul, straight back again, just misses our broadcast booth. But then after that, after today, those couple days off, they play 4 straight. As that one's lined over the head of Sparks at third and into left field. It gets past Harden in left. And Moat is going to go to second. He's going to round to take third. They're going to hold him at third. And it's going to go down as a single with an E7. Tough play for the substitute, Sebastian Harden, as the Dragons now have a runner just 90 feet from home with nobody out. It's also huge for Christian Moat, who offensively this season hasn't had the best year. It's just hit number 4 in 2025. As the top of the lineup in Tyree Jackson steps to the dish. Jackson also made a commitment before the summer started and then joined the Dragons halfway through. He's set to go play at Houston Christian University this upcoming season. Joins a list of other players for the Dragons that have made commitments. The 1-1 in the dirt. Jackson's 1 for 3 today. Had his single back in the 6th. He also had a stolen base, but was stranded at third. The 2-1. This one's line foul down the third base slide. Despite being the leadoff hitter with a lot of speed at the plate, Tyree Jackson has got some pop. He had a leadoff home run against this same Amsterdam squad a couple of weeks ago, but unfortunately that game got rained out. The 2-2 is foul, tipped back into the glove of Touchstone. And Veronese happy to get out number 1. So the lefty, James Houghton, steps to the dish. He watches the first pitch outside. Houghton's 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. He takes a big cut. Through 7 innings today, Glens Falls has had 5 batters come to the plate in 1 inning. That was back in the 4th when they scored a run. They've had 4 batters reach twice as Houghton lines this one into left field for a base knock. He picks up an RBI single. And the Dragons start to pick apart and go into this 6th run deficit. It's now just 5. And all of a sudden, the pitching coach for Amsterdam is going to come out and have a conversation with Veronese. Imagine not much longer for him as Zach Breen comes and has a conversation.
Great at bat by Houghton, though, just able to slap one the other way. Took a pitch on the outside of the plate and slapped it to at least claw 1 run back.
That's RBI number 3 for James Houghton. Hit number 7 on the year. And really, you wonder what that conversation on the mound, a relatively quick one from pitching coach Zach Breen and the entire infield, Mason Veronese, had. Really got to give the reliever a lot of confidence because it is just the 2nd earned run that Veronese has given up across 8 appearances this summer. But he still has a 5-run lead to work with. The first pitch he now throws to Nick Galello. Swung over the top off. The 0-1 runs inside. Houghton stands at first. The 1-1. Runs inside, almost nails Galello. He just dips out of the way. Galello pops this one into foul territory. Count is going to even at 2 apiece. Galello plays for the alma mater of pitching coach Matt Gonzalez, attends Hofstra University. The 2-2. Upstairs. I mean, this season he's going to go back to the Pride with a whole lot of pride himself. An excellent 2025 summer. He's got a chance to add to it. Still 10 games to go. The 3-2. Houghton's on the move. This one's popped up foul. And he'll get out of play. So Houghton will have to go back to first. So we'll redo the 3-2 pitch. Veronese gets the sign and comes set. Takes a look over at first. The payoff is swung on, missed. Gets behind the catcher touchstone and straight to the backstop. He's lost it. Houghton will go to third. Galello will advance to second. In what should have been the 4th strikeout. And what will go down as the 4th strikeout for Mason Veronese will end up also being a passed ball. And no, instead, because there was not 2 outs and first base was occupied, Galello actually is going to be out. So James Houghton will still advance to third because of the passed ball that got behind Bray Touchstone, but Galello goes down with the strikeout, and he couldn't advance to first because it was occupied. So Robert Mello steps in now. He's got an opportunity with a runner 90 feet from home. He takes a big cut at the 0-1. And Veronese is 1 pitch away from getting out of this one, giving up just a run. The 0-2 is upstairs. The 1-2. Bounced in the dirt, gets away from Touchstone. Houghton thought about coming home, but instead will stay at second. So deuce is wild here in the bottom of the 8th. Big spot for Robert Mello. The 2-2 from Veronese. Upstairs. Now back-to-back batters with full counts. The payoff pitch is swung on and missed. Veronese strikes out 5 across 2 innings and keeps Amsterdam in front. They now only have a 5-run lead, but can add to it as we head to the 9th. The final frame from East Field is set to get underway with a 5-run lead in the hands of Amsterdam. Alongside Luke LaRose, I'm Nathaniel Cunningham. It'll be 3, 4, and 5 for the Mohawks as Bray Touchstone grounds one over towards Sweeney at third. The bounce throw over to Galello is not picked. And we'll see how it goes down in the stat book. Gonna go down as an E5. They say Sweeney could have, if the throw was picked from the first baseman, that it would have got Touchstone by a step. So, second error of the ball game. This one belongs to Michael Sweeney, who was stellar. Puts one runner on with nobody out. The lefty John McKillop steps to the dish. O'Connor takes a long look at Touchstone, delivers the first pitch, and it's low. O'Connor comes set. That one's drilled out to straightaway center. Tyree Jackson's got to go back a couple of steps, but he brings it in for out number 1. So the right fielder, Brendan McCrane, steps to the dish now. He's 0 for 3 today, but he did reach base on a hit by pitch back in the 6th, where he was then was caught trying to steal second by Brendan McLaughlin, who picked up his 7th caught stealing of the season. The first pitch to McCrane is ball 1. The 1-0. Hit over towards Sweeney at third. He throws to second to Moat to get 1. The throw to first, not picked by Galello. The first baseman tried to grab one on the backhand, wasn't able to do it. And it'll just go down as a standard fielder's choice, they'll say. McCrane was going to beat out the throw. Either way, the Dragons pick up out number 2 on a great throw from Sweeney to Moat. And now the designated hitter, Wes Walker, will step to the dish. He's 1 for 2 today with a double and 2 runs scored. He was hit by a pitch, though, and walked his other 2 at-bats. McCrane putting on the sliding mid over at first, maybe thinking about an extra bag as the 1-0 is upstairs. Again, McCrane was caught on the base pass back in the 6th. That one's drilled over the head of McCrane and into right field for a base knock. The right fielder, McCrane, chooses not to go to third. And some more loud contact off the hand of Jake O'Connor. Puts 2 runners on with 2 outs. The third baseman, Jake Sparks, steps in, and again, he has had an incredible debut with the Mohawks today. He's 2 for 4 with 2 RBI doubles. 2 separate ones, back in the 4th and in the 8th. He also scored a run on that double back in the 4th. His other 2 at-bats were a hard liner back to the mound and then a pop-up, a weak pop-up over to third. He takes a big cut at the 1-0 pitch. As the 1-1 is in the zone. O'Connor comes set. The 1-2 pitch. Runner's on the move. Pops this one off into the nice seats behind home plate. And it gets in between a bunch of fans. McCrane was trying to take third. O'Connor wasn't really looking. And that leaves 2 runners on base with a 1-2 count. The 1-2 pitch again popped into foul territory. This one over towards the bleacher section. So we'll get to redo the 1-2 again. Sparks the lefty, making it tough for O'Connor on the bump. McCrane stands at second. Walker at first. And O'Connor will step off to reset. The 1-2 is swung on, chopped off the left leg of Brendan McLaughlin, who immediately winces in pain. It's just a cut from Sparks straight back into the dirt and just got that inside part of McLaughlin. So home plate umpire Sean Hollick will go out and give the backstop a second. Sparks has done everything humanly possible to make O'Connor earn this final out. He's fouled off 3 straight pitches now. The 1-2 is swung on and missed. Gets away from McLaughlin. Sparks hustling down the first baseline. Not in time. So O'Connor does get out of the inning without giving up an extra run. And now the Dragons will have 3 outs to crawl out of a 5-run deficit. The bottom of the 9th set to take place in just a couple minutes. Three outs to work with to end tonight's ball game. In the bottom of the 9th with the Dragons down by 5. Joined alongside Luke LaRose, I'm Nathaniel Cunningham. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 that get the task of climbing out of a hole and doing so against the tough pitching staff that is Amsterdam. Mason Veronese's day has come to an end. The ball will get handed over to Derek Duval, who gets Carpier's fouling straight back. So, Veronese goes 2 innings, gave up 3 hits, which is the same Reddick gave over his 6 innings of work. Allowed a run, also the same, but he didn't walk anybody and he struck out 5. Something about this Amsterdam squad and just striking batters out. 14 outs have come via the K of their 24 outs they've gotten. Either way, Derek Duval takes over on the bump, and he might make Veronese look a little silly as well. Duval has got a 1.16 ERA through 13 appearances as Carpier's chops this one weakly over to Sparks at third. He grabs it, throws a strong ball across the diamond, and it's out number 1. I was saying with Duval, 13th appearance of the year across 23 1/3 innings. He's given up 3 earned runs. Here's the kicker, Luke. He's given up 11 actual runs. So 8 of the runs that he's given up this season have been unearned due to errors that the defense has made.
Amsterdam's defense all year long has, I believe, been the thing that would hold them back, if anything. Their pitching is stellar. You look at guys like Duval on the mound, Veronese, all the way through. Their pitching is stacked. Offensively, they're the best team in the league by a mile.
Well, Cody Meyer is taking one of the better pitchers in Duval and got him in an early 2-0 count. And speaking about that defense, it's not been all too bad for Amsterdam. They're the 5th best defense in the PGCBL, and although they have 51 errors, which is the same amount that Glens Falls has, the Dragons sit at 11th in the league because Amsterdam has played pretty much a full game more than the Dragons have.
But the 5th best defense in the league is Amsterdam's worst part of their game.
The 3-1 to Cody Meyer is in the dirt and allows a 1-out base runner. So that'll pass the baton to Michael Sweeney, who's 0 for 3 today, and he needs to just put a ball in contact to stay out of the golden sombrero. The first pitch he sees, though, is on the outside half for strike 1. He does put this one into contact. Sweeney, it's fielded by Sparks. The throw to first. No throw made. It was underneath the glove of Sparks. He jumped up like he was going to make a throw, but wasn't able to grab it, and so it's going to go down as a hit. Sweeney does grab that base knock that he was looking for today. 3 straight strikeouts followed by a single. His 7th of the season. And now there's 2 runners on with only 1 down. The catcher, Brendan McLaughlin's at the plate. He watches the first pitch in the zone. McLaughlin also 0 for 3 with a strikeout and 2 groundouts to the shortstop Holcraft. The 0-1 swung on and missed. The 0-2 is also swung over the top of, and it's the first strikeout for Derek Duval out of the bullpen, and now the Mohawks are 1 out away. So Christian Mote, the 9-hole hitter, will step in. He picked up just his 4th hit of the season last time at the plate. That was back in the 8th. The first pitch he sees gets away from the catcher touchstone. That's going to allow Meyer and Sweeney to advance 90 feet. So now it's an even bigger spot for the second baseman, who has 2 RBIs this year. No extra base hits. Can put one in the gap, score a pair, cut the deficit to just 3. He pops this one up. It'll get out of play and into foul territory by the bleachers. So Moat fighting off anything he sees, trying to put one into play. The 1-1 hit the top of the zone. The 1-2 hit back up the middle. It's picked by Duvall. The throw to first. And Amsterdam, for the 26th consecutive time, marches up to Glens Falls and takes down the Dragons. The final, 7-2 here at East Field.
Another kind of rough one for Glens Falls, of course, at this point. It's about to be expected when you're playing Amsterdam. 7 hits, though, that's kind of a positive. Carpier's had a pretty good day at the plate. Harding, despite giving up a few hits, had a good outing. O'Connor was solid.
The team has shown flashes at multiple times throughout the day or throughout the year of being what many may consider an elite level team and turning towards the top of the PGCBL. But again, it just seems like time after time, a couple of crucial mistakes have really punished Glens Falls, and that's why they dropped to 11-22 on the year.
Yeah, crucial mistakes, just bad errors you can't be making, and failing to capitalize with runners on, which is a theme of the year. The team has struggled when they get guys on to start the inning. They can't put them away, or whenever a guy gets on, they just can't seem to bring them home, and that's been the story of the season.
They left 7 runners on the base paths today, and they only scored 2 runs. Amsterdam takes it 7 runs on 12 hits, 1 error. They strand 9. The Dragons 2 runs on 7 hits, 2 errors, and they strand 7. James Reddick will get the win after a 6 innings of excellent work where he allowed just 1 run on 3 hits, struck out 9. Dylan Harding will get the loss after what was a really strong outing from him. It's just tough to do when you face the best team in the PGCBL and when he went 7 innings of 9-hit baseball. Either way, Glens Falls they can't soak in this one all too long because tomorrow ends the home stretch against the Saugerties Stallions. And for a team like Amsterdam, who is unequivocally the best team in the PGCBL, Saugerties has been a lot more hot and cold. Tomorrow is a winnable game for Glens Falls as they try to make that playoff push continue.
Need to win against Saugerties. They've had success against Saugerties in the past, but Amsterdam showing you tonight far and away why they are just the best team.
Well, good news for the Dragons elsewhere in the PGCBL is that Utica ended up taking down Boonville 7-5, and then the Outlaws, don't let them get hot at the end of the year. They're out of playoff contention, but they took down the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs 6-2. So as much as you would have loved to win this game, to also know that your rivals that you're trying to jump in the standings are also losing games means it's just going to be if you can get hot at the right time.
Glens Falls definitely putting the pieces together to get hot. Like I said, they had a lot of things to like. Some hitters who aren't as hot throughout the season put together a couple great at bats today, but you run into a guy like Jake Sparks, who over the last couple of days has just beat you up. It's just been a rough go for Glens Falls, and over the last number of years, it's a rough go in general against Amsterdam.
It's 26 straight now against the Mohawks, and it continues as in an unfortunate manner. Now the focus turns to tomorrow, as it's 9 games in 10 days for the Dragons to close out 2025. From the entire staff here with the Glens Falls Dragons, alongside Luke LaRosa, I've been Nathaniel Cunningham. Amsterdam takes it 7-2 your final.